President Vladimir Putin has recently announced that his team of scientists has created their own cloning technology and has given rise to a brand new army.
Magnificent, aren't they?
Yes, very good morning to you all and welcome to our panel. Today we have a very distinguished panel. On my right we have infamous federal MP of Ottawa, Mr. Harrison Durgan. Next to him, the esteemed researcher in human virology who published several articles in Nature Journal, Mr. Scientist. On my left, we have Dr. Arnold Stindren, a PhD in sociology and economics. And finally, Mr. Harry Johnson, a member of the Distinguished Science Club of North America.
Hello.
May we have the first question, please?
Taking into account the fact that Russia has cloned an army of 20 million soldiers, which will be invading the whole world in approximately 24 hours. What does the panel have to say about the future of mankind?
Yes, we've got a very good question from Mr. Kent. 20 million Russian soldiers on their way, and we are all going to perish shortly. Mr. Durgan?
Well, in cases like this, we must put aside the destruction...
No, I'm sorry, but we cannot...
No, in situations like these, we must think critically. We must weigh the pros and cons. We must balance the good and the bad. And on balance, I am pretty sure that the world is going to be destroyed by the
Clone army?
Yes, clone army, by the clone army. Some people might think that's a bad thing. Others might quite like the idea, but don't come at me asking for a short or brief answer to that one.
Yes, thank you very much, but I'm afraid we don't have much time. I would like to go to Mr. Scientist. Mr. Scientist?
Facing impending destruction, I always believe that it is healthy and wise to pursue knowledge, which is why I will briefly talk about the technology of cloning.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid we...
No, I will say what I have to say. Now, for those of you who didn't know, we have two types of cloning for animals. We have artificial embryo twinning and somatic cell nuclear transfer. Both are effective ways of cloning animals and other multicellular organisms. First, artificial embryo twinning, whose name speaks for itself, is the technique that mimics the natural way twins are being produced. Natural twinning occurs during the embryonic stage, when the embryo consists of a very small amount of unspecialized cells. The embryo splits into two, and the two parts of the embryo develop into separate individuals. In artificial embryo twinning, they do the exact same thing, but the splitting of the embryo occurs inside a petri dish. The two embryos are then placed into surrogate mothers, and in which they will develop into fully functional, identical individuals. The other method is the somatic cell nuclear transfer technique, which consists of taking the genetic information from a diploid cell and transferring it into an egg cell. The diploid cell can be any living cell in the body of the animal. First, the haploid nucleus of the egg cell is removed from the egg cell, and then the diploid nucleus from the diploid cell is transferred into the egg cell. After a few chemical modifications, the egg will then act like a fertilized zygote. This zygote is then placed in a surrogate mother where it will develop into an individual.
Yes, long and educational. Very nice, Mr. Scientist. Our time is running short, so we are going to Dr. Arnold Stindren.
Well, I'm amazed. We're just sitting here babbling nonsense, discussing about cloning and completely ignoring the major issue, which is that Russia still has a debt of 500 billion US dollars that still needs to be paid.
Yes, relevant as ever, Mr. Skinnerin, but I'm afraid it's not likely for Russia to pay its debt after it's invaded the whole world. Yes, Mr. Harry Johnson, anything you would like to add?
As a member of the Science Club of North America, I believe it right to say that it is inhumane to be cloning humans.
Yes, we all know that. Thank you very much for your time.
Nor I will have my say. Our scientific knowledge demonstrates that cloning can be extremely painful for the organisms involved. The point—
Evacuate the building! A bomb's dropping! And now on to career counseling, the part of our program that allows you to choose your educational pathway that best fits your dream career. Today we look at the journey leading to becoming a cloning researcher. More specifically, we look at the academic endeavors of our very esteemed Dr. Alain Gaston, a professor and biology researcher at l'Université Paris-Saclay. Dr. Alain Gaston, welcome to our show.
Merci beaucoup.
Dr. Gaston, we are all very interested in learning about your journey in becoming one of the leading scientists in the field of animal cloning. You are the laureate of 2 Nobel Prizes?
No, two and a half. I shared the third one with one of my colleagues.
Ah, yes, of course. Can you briefly share with us how you entered the scientific community and what are the academic requirements and what university program did you enter?
May we, of course. First of all, you must have outstanding grades in high school. You must also have a passion for biology and chemistry. That is a must. In terms of what university program I was accepted, I had the honor of being accepted to l'Université McGill in Montréal. And I did my studies in the health science program. But you don't have to choose the health science program. Any science program would get you on track, so to speak.
I see. Well, let's talk about cloning itself. What is this technology used for today, and where do you think this technology will bring us in the future?
Cloning is a very interesting technology. We use it for a lot of purposes, such as cloning the salad plants on my windowsill, or cloning my neighbor's dog, because I also want to have one.
Yes, but what are some more professional applications of cloning?
Well, cloning is used in a variety of industries. Artificial embryo cloning is most commonly used in animal agriculture. For example, when you want to have all your cows being good producers of milk, then you clone them. And this, may I add, is good for the economy. The other method, somatic cell nuclear transfer, is more commonly used for the collection of stem cells, which is a very important type of cell for therapy and toutes sortes de choses, as I'm sure you all know.
And now, one of the most anticipated questions to be asked. As of right now, does this technology allow us to clone humans?
Well, cloning humans is highly unethical. This topic is a very controversial one. Cloning humans, as we all know, can lead to exploitation of cloned individuals. Parent and children relationships will be disrupted, and there are definitely health concerns related to cloning. As of right now, cloning can only be done on non-human animals. First of all, because doing cloning on humans is illegal, and also because there has not been a lot of research in this field.
I see. Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for joining us, Monsieur Gaston.
The pleasure is all mine.